Hi everybody, welcome to your topic learning for today, where we're going to be thinking a little bit more about our big topic called discovery. Now, to begin our remote learning journey, we asked you to think about what discovery meant to you. Before we were to teach you anything, what did you think the word discovery meant? Now, lots of you came up with many ideas about what discovery meant, and I've collated some of them by popping them onto my own little mind map to show what discovery might mean. The main thing that pretty much everyone said was that discovery, or to discover something, means we're finding something new. And then lots of you told me more about what you meant by that. Sometimes you meant finding something new, meaning a physical thing, something we could find, like places in the world. Some people discovered countries and places in the world, like finding or creating mobile phones and technology. And then some of you said, actually, sometimes discovery can be learning things. It can be finding something we can't see or touch, but things that are there. And some of you told me about Isaac Newton, who discovered gravity. Now, we can't touch gravity, but gravity, we know, is what holds us to the ground. It's what keeps us standing on the earth because of the sun. So we asked you to think about all of those things that link to the word discovery when we set that home learning. And these are just some of the things you said. So you told us about discoverers like Isaac Newton, Yuri Gagarin. You told us about how we've discovered a vaccine for the coronavirus. How amazing is that? That's so exciting. About people discovering football clubs. And by looking at all of the things you said, I noticed that sometimes discovery can be groundbreaking. It's amazing. It's something nobody has ever seen or heard of before. But then other times, discovery can be the everyday. So some of you sent pictures of you discovering things on a walk, walking around Ivybridge or around your home. And that is also linking to that idea of discovery. Now, we're going to be learning about a particular explorer in our discovery topic. And this explorer is somebody who is rumoured, or through history has been said, to have found and discovered America. Now, once you learn about this person, you may agree or disagree as to whether or not he really found America. But I'm going to share his story with you this morning, and then I'm going to ask you to do something with it afterwards. So the discoverer we're going to be learning about is Christopher Columbus. So I'm going to read for you this book here, so you can hear about his life, and then I have something I'd like you to do after that as well. So make sure you're sat comfortably, and I'll try and do my best not to trip over my words as we go through, and we'll find out about who exactly Christopher Columbus is. There are pictures in the book, but I will read and then I will turn and show them to you just so it makes my life a little bit easier. So, Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus was born in 1451 in Genoa, Italy. His parents were Susanna and Domenico Colombo. Domenico was a master weaver. Susanna was the daughter of a weaver. There they are, with little baby Columbus in his crib. Genoa is at the shore of the Ligurian Sea, part of the Mediterranean. When Christopher and others looked out over the water, they saw no end to it. Christopher was a tall boy, with a thin face and freckles. He worked in his father's shop, but he dreamed of going to sea. So there he is, dreaming as he looks out over the water. He's longing to be able to go out to sea. He obviously wants to go and explore. When Christopher was young, he took short trips on the sea, and when he was older, he became a sailor. In 1476, when he was just 25, Christopher was sailing on one of a group of ships headed for England. French pirates, however, attacked, and the ship on which he was sailing sank. Christopher was injured and thrown into the sea. He grabbed onto some floating wood and made his way to the nearest shore. So thankfully he's okay. I wonder where he's going to end up. Christopher came across a shore in Portugal. He stayed there until he was well. Then he moved down to Lisbon, which was also in Portugal, where his brother Bartholomew lived. Together, they ran a shop where they sold maps for sailors and books. We've been looking at maps, haven't we? Those sketch maps you've been drawing of your local area. Those maps might have been quite similar in the past because they didn't have all of this technology we do now. In Lisbon, Christopher married Dona Filipa, the daughter of an important family. They had a son together called Diego. People in Lisbon talked of sailing east around Africa to the Indies, China, Japan, the East Indies, and India, where they could get valuable jewels and spices. Christopher Columbus and most other people during his time knew that the Earth was round, but they didn't know quite how big it was. They had always travelled east to get to the Indies. Columbus thought, though, that he could get there more quickly by sailing in the opposite direction. Christopher asked King John II of Portugal for 3 ships to make the voyage, but the king refused him. So everybody always travelled in the same direction when they were travelling to the Indies. But Christopher knew the world was round and thought, I know, it takes so long going that way. Let's travel the other way because that could be a lot quicker. But something happens when he has that idea. At the moment, he's not able to follow through with his plan because he doesn't have the money to make it happen. Christopher's brother Bartholomew went to the kings of France and England. He asked them for the ships Christopher needed to sail west. They refused too, though. He's definitely having to be a bounce-back kangaroo here, isn't he? He's not having much luck at all. Christopher's wife, Filipa, died, and so he moved to Spain. There, he met a woman called Beatrice, the daughter of Spanish peasants, and together they had another son called Ferdinand. Christopher asked King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain if they could give him some money and some ships for his voyage west, but they were not ready to help either. Then, in 1492, after years of waiting, the King and Queen of Spain finally agreed to help him. They gave him 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, and about 90 men to sail with them. So finally, after all that asking, he has been given the help he needs. People have given him the money and the ships and the crew he needs to try and sail west across the world to see if he can get to the Indies a little bit quicker. On the 3rd of August, 1492, the voyage began. 9 days later, the explorers reached the nearby Canary Islands. Then, on September the 9th, the ships sailed west into the unknown waters of the Atlantic Ocean. The sailors were frightened. At times they wanted to turn back, but Christopher told them, Adelante, sail on. During the first week of October, the men saw birds and other signs of land. And on October 12th, they saw land, an island southeast of Florida. Christopher Columbus and his men rowed ashore. He planted a flag in the sand and claimed the island for his name, for Spain. He named it San Salvador. Christopher Columbus gave the natives of the island red caps and glass bead necklaces. Since he believed his ships had reached the Indies, he named the natives Indians, but they had actually landed in America, the New World. So, sailing the other way around the world, sailing west instead of east, Columbus didn't get to the Indies. He actually stumbled across America. Now, America was always there, but Columbus discovered it when the rest of the world weren't aware about it. This is why he's such an important explorer of our past. In March 1493, Christopher Columbus sailed back to Spain. He took with him gold trinkets, parrots, and a few Indians as well. He left some sailors in the New World to search for gold. Christopher was a hero to the people of Spain. King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella named him Admiral of the Ocean Sea. September 1493, Christopher Columbus sailed west again. This time, he led 17 ships and more than 1,000 men. Christopher found that the men who stayed behind after the first voyage had been quite cruel to the Indians. He found some other islands too. He set up a colony on Hispaniola, one of the largest islands, and named it Isabella, after the Queen of Spain. So he carried on exploring to see what else he could discover in America, in this new world, somewhere that he named the Indies. Columbus sailed to America again in 1498 and 1502. The men who sailed with him had great hopes for gold and other riches, but they found very little gold, and Christopher was no longer a hero. Even after all 4 voyages, Christopher Columbus insisted that he had reached the Indies, but he had discovered the land which was later named America. So the Indies was a place where gold could be found easily, where all these riches and treasures could be taken back to Spain that they could then use to sell. But because he discovered America, they didn't have the same things that he was supposed to be finding in the Indies. So he wasn't able to take those things back to Spain, which left people a little bit unimpressed. They didn't think he was really as great an explorer as he thought he was, because they didn't know yet that he wasn't even in the Indies, he was actually in America. Christopher Columbus died in Spain on May 20th, 1506. He had been a great sailor, able to find his way across unknown waters and back home again. He had found the New World. So that's the story of Columbus. Now, Columbus wasn't looking to discover anything new. He just had an idea. He thought, well, it takes a very long time to travel one way around the world to get to the Indies. I know the world is round, so I'll just go the other way. But what he didn't know was that traveling the other way meant he was going to come across new lands, places that people from where he lived didn't know of yet. So it sounded like he was unsuccessful because people were disappointed that wherever he ended up, they just weren't producing or giving them the riches and the things that they wanted. But we have learnt from Columbus and his maps and his discovery of the world, or the new place, the land, America. They called it the New World because it was a new place that they had never heard of before. So it's up to you to decide whether or not you think he really did discover America. But then you're going to have an activity to do with this afterwards. So I have read the story to you, and hopefully you can see kind of the things that he had to go through with his life. I'd like you to have a look today and see what you can find out about Christopher Columbus. We will be teaching you some more things about him, but I wonder, could you create your own fact file all about Christopher Columbus by researching on the internet, finding information about him, and then create a page that shows me all about Columbus? That's your challenge for today. What can you find out about him? What information can you share? Can you find something different to what was mentioned in the book? Have fun researching, and I look forward to seeing what it is that you find out about Columbus today. Until next time, see you soon, Yetis. Bye-bye.